Hi, my name is Caitlin Bernardo and I'm a senior at Freestyle Academy. For this project, we were challenged to find someone in the community and do a story about them. I decided to animate a documentary about a high schooler's experience with mental health because it's an issue that is very close to my heart and one that I believe deserves more public awareness, especially during a time in which our youth is getting increasingly depressed and mental health is stigmatized. Without further ado, here is my documentary, Distortion. If you were to describe your psyche with a color or symbol, what would it be?
If I'm being honest, it's probably like a murky yellow. I feel the brown aspect or like the darker part of me is still like prominent. It kind of represents like my mental health. The yellow part, I feel like yellow's a very happy color and I want to be happy, and I feel if I keep trying that my life is slowly going to become more happy. I feel like it's always a part of me, like having mental health issues, but sometimes it's more prominent than others.
When was the moment you first realized you had mental health issues?
Probably in 7th grade. I moved schools and then it was really awkward because socially awkward, so it was hard for me to make friends. And then my only friend at the time told me to stop being friends with her because I was too clingy. And then after I kind of realized and more matured and saw my surroundings as not positive ones that I'd like to associate myself around. At the highest point of my depression, it was really obvious towards people around me. Someone recommended me to go to the counselor, I guess, but they didn't tell me, and that just triggered a lot of anxiety when I got pulled into the office, That kind of, I don't know, PTSD from going back, I guess. On an outside of school kind of thing, I talked to my parents about it. And regarding my future, it seems like it would be better just not to get professional help. People that say that it gets better, it really doesn't. Your mental health issues are always going to be there, whether you like it or not. And it's going to be a part of you. And some days it might be more prominent than others, but you have to try to see the light at the end of the tunnel, even though it feels like you're at the beginning of the tunnel. Because dying's not really worth it.
We were only given about 3.5 months to create this documentary, from mid-January to early May, so I knew I couldn't encompass the different mental health experiences I initially wanted to present in this documentary. Instead, I chose one story that I thought had the best narrative structure and animation potential out of all of my interviews. I then chose tidbits of the interview to form fan animate, and once I did all that, I begun the grueling, intense creative work. First, I brainstormed in creative roughs for character designs, backgrounds, and color schemes using Photoshop. I then used them to create an animatic, which is essentially a fleshed out storyboard with sound, so I had a good sense of the timing and visual progression. Once I had the blueprint laid out, I jumped right into animating. I primarily used Adobe Animate, but I used a bit of Photoshop to animate on top of the live footage I took and to create the opening and ending credits. I cleaned up the audio in Audition, and finally put it all together in After Effects. I added some good old royalty-free music, color corrected, and keyframed the scribbles on top of faces. Overall, this is probably the most meaningful project I've created thus far. I'm happy that this project marks a period of personal development for me, since for once in my life, I'm actually proud to call this project mine.
So my name is Caitlin Bernardo, and I'm a senior at Freestyle Academy. And to me, art is not just about like expressing yourself, though that is, very important. To me, art is about inspiring others. Whether it's inspiring them to make a small change in their life, like allowing them to see the world through a different lens, or something drastic like changing a lifestyle. And I want people to interact with my art and enjoy the universe that I've created with me. And I see it as this. I see doctors are doctors because, they have to make us healthy. They have to make sure that we're living all right. Firefighters, they protect us and they save us. And artists, they make you think. So knowing that my artwork could potentially have a positive impact in the world gives me purpose. And I thank Freestyle Academy for allowing me to carry out